Hello, this is Erica, and for the 14th day of Black History Month, we will be discussing the historical novel Ruth's Redemption by Marlene Banks. This book takes place in 1830s Southampton County, Virginia, and follows two main characters, Bo and Ruth. Bo is a freeman who owns a considerable amount of land, which he earned along with his freedom when his master died. He uses these resources to buy slaves and free them, which leads to a thriving agricultural community of free blacks. So he gives them different options. They can go and work for somebody else. They can go up north. He asked that they try to work off the amount that it costs for him to buy them, but if they can't afford that, he's fine with them just leaving. This community of free blacks, of course, does not make everyone in the area happy. The headstrong Ruth is one of the rescued slaves. We watch her navigate this community of free blacks while healing her physical and emotional scars. I thoroughly enjoyed the book because of the unique way common topics and events were written. Ruth, for example, was a breeding slave. And so many times in novels, you hear breeding slaves mentioned in passing. I've never read a novel that handled the journey of an ex-breeding slave, the journey that they would need to go on for healing after what they lived through. So it was very interesting to see Ruth's point of view on things and why she acted the way she did. It was understandable. I've also read books that mention Nat Turner's rebellion, but the role it played in Ruth's redemption was especially unique. Usually books tackle the ways in which Nat Turner affected the lives of slaves, but far less often do books show how the lives of free blacks were affected by his rebellion. 15 pages into the book is when we first hear about Nat Turner. Until the very end of the book, the main characters are still being affected by his rebellion. Everything changes for them after the rebellion. Their viewpoint on things and the way other people see them. So that dynamic was interesting to watch. Both characters have serious decisions to make before, during, and after Nat Turner's rebellion. Watching the events unfold made for an entertaining read. This book has a happy ending, as is characteristic of religious historical fiction. The way that all the storylines were resolved was extremely satisfying. While some parts were upsetting to read, the book still felt like a feel-good story at the end of it all. I believe both heavy and light topics can exist at the same time in a story, so I appreciated that. The end did wrap up pretty fast, but it was such a great ending that I actually wouldn't mind a film that expanded on that ending. I liked how Marlene Banks basically at the end gave us a rundown of what happened to every line of Bo and Ruth's family, and I really loved that. As somebody who enjoys genealogy and history, it was awesome to see where the characters' descendants ended up. And so that in itself would make for an awesome film. The mix of solid history with the love story of Bo and Ruth was an awesomely refreshing read and would make an emotionally gratifying movie. Someone should write it.